What was it personally like for you to work closely with Billy, and how would you best describe him as a man?
He's a cracking guy, to be honest, a character. Billy actually joined the squadron about 3 years after me, if that makes. And bearing in mind that we're Mountain Troop B Squadron, so Billy and a lad called Davy Penman joined us, and Davy was X three para. Billy was two para, so it was unusual for Mountain Troop, especially because we were full of commando, or we had one para full of commandos, a couple of RAF regiment, and a tanky. So very sort of diverse group of people, really, which is great. And then all of a sudden we got Billy and Davey Penman turned up. You know, that Power Edge, Parachute Regiment mentality. Cracking blokes, really, really good blokes. And Billy just, I think he was a corporal who was in charge of two paras boxing team. So came to us, and obviously you lose all your rank. You know, you start back at, you're now in charge of the tea and on the Rangers, and make sure you bring the sugar. So you lose all that rank, which is great because everybody goes through that level anyway. But it was not long after that, about a year later, because I then got posted to London with MI5. So I didn't really have. So I'd literally spent about a year, I think, with Billy in the squadron, and then I was off doing my bits, and then Billy was, doing his bits. So it's surprising that you've got two people. You can have two people serving in the same squadron, not so much in the same troop. One might be an air troop, one might be in mobility boat troop or whatever. But off they go. And you actually only work with people for a couple of years, maybe, because you just don't. And if they're not in the same squadron, because the amount of people that say, Mick, do you know blah blah blah? He used to be in 22 SAS, and you're like that. No, never heard of him. And it's not because he's probably telling pork pies. It's because he's in a different squadron, and you just never see these people. It, if they're on selection with you, so there was 12 past my selection, so I knew all 12 people. So four of us went to B squadron, and four went to or three, I think, went to the different other squadrons or whatever. So I know them. People that you did courses with. So I did a motorbike course. I did my medics course, sniper course, all this type of stuff. So you actually bump into these people, but you don't actually work with them, if that makes sense. And so the regiment are full of mysterious people that you've never heard of. But that's just part and parcel of the job. It's just the nature of the beast, really. You just get on and just crack on, But Billy was he was a fantastic lad to work with, and the potential was there. So I really saw him as a youngster, until he got to about corporal, the corporal level, and then I was off doing a thing, and never to return, if that makes sense. And then when I did return, it was just to say goodbye to everyone, because my 22 years is finished. And sort of met. So I bump into Billy quite often when I got out and he was doing it. So yeah, not a bad word for Billy at all, because he epitomises everything that's good about C2SES, if that makes sense. And he was a great asset to B Squadron Mountain Troop, and B Squadron altogether, if that makes sense.